go. Let's try it again. Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. I love when my things update. We are here for episode 20 of The Rise. This is a bonus episode, maybe a 19.5, who knows, where we only have two characters here, going on a little side mission, separate from the normal campaign. So yeah, as always, if you like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is over on Patreon, like these fine folks. Patreon link down below. While you're clicking on that link, also click on the Discord. Join us in the Discord. Be a part of the community. Be a part of the conversation. And as always, you will see the corruption bar in the bottom right-hand corner. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, I unleash terror on the players you see before you. And two, every single dollar that goes into that goes back to this channel, so we can do things like hire people for art and other things like production, and pay bills occasionally. That being said, previously on The Rise. After a tense meeting with family, an emotional meeting with family, Seydlitz was led to the capital, the castle inside Samora, where he met with the queen as well as the rest of his companions to discuss the growing problem in Samora, the fact that two separate armies were amassing and ready to march. And to fulfill his duty to the queen, Seydlitz felt that he needed to head out and find information, asking Antares to come along with him. The two of them set out to journey to the Krakens, the mountain range that they had just passed through in Sia's Cleft. So we cut from the throne room. The rest of the day plays out for you two. Goodbyes are had to family if needed. Preparations are made. Gear is assembled. New outfit is replaced with old outfits. And the two of you meet at sunrise at the darkened gate out of Samora. As we know, Samora is bisected. Half is in the Nightlands, half is in the Runescape. And as you watch the sun rise over the Runescape, you head under the shadow of Nod towards the gate that never sees the sun. And before you stands a stretch of land, a well-traveled road, and the high peaks of the Krakens. Up to this point, Antares, you have no idea what this mission is, just that you have been asked to go on it. So the two of you stand there, gear in hand. What are you doing as you guys face out this treacherous mountain range?
She hikes up her pack on her back and shoots a look over at Seydlitz and looks him up and down. You're sure you want to do this?
I have to, and I appreciate you coming along.
Well,
there is no sure about this. This is beyond my decision now.
that doesn't reassure me. She doesn't smile. She starts walking. Yeah. So you said we're looking for somebody?
I'm looking for a man who fled into the Krakens a few years ago. His name is Regis. He's got like a small shack tucked in some corner of the woods up in the Krakens.
Regis. Woods. Okay. Well, it's a pretty big mountain range. Can we narrow this down a little bit?
I've been to the area before. I've been there once before. It's a bit of a trek, but I've only gone there once, so my memory might be a bit fuzzy.
All right, then. And she's just walking purposefully down the road. So what's going to happen when we find this Regis guy? Is he going to help us fight the war?
No, this is personal, but like I said, we're going to be scouting for supposed reconciliators while we're up here, aren't we?
That's the plan. But we're not going to engage them, right?
That is not the plan. What's the
Good.
point of fighting them when it's just two of us?
Despite what some people might think, I don't have a death wish. So, yeah. Let's just hope we're not spotted.
Odds are we already have been.
So the two of you head out of the city and you begin to make your way down what you can call the main road, right? The road towards Sia's Cleft. Now, Sia's Cleft is the only safely passable section of the Krakens, a way that you have passed through previously, right? You've met Sia, you've interacted, you've stayed in her way house. However, the Krakens are a mountain range, and you can cross anywhere. You would both know, having been from either side of the Krakens, that's not advised. There is a reason, Antares, that your mother has a agreement with Sia to allow troops. You have an inclination that she may or may not be someone who is of divine spark, such as yourself, but you know you've never been sent to retrieve her in any capacity. And there seems to be a reason why. The Kraken can be crossed, it is ill-advised, and it is teeming with Nefar. Nefar in this game are things that are not civilized humans. You have like your goblins, your monsters, your bugbear, things like that. It is teeming with all manner of monster. And for some reason, this apparent Regis has decided to take up residence in the Kraken, away from Sia's Cleft, to, I don't know, stop visitors, perhaps? To hide away from the world for something, or for some reason. But you are being led down the main road by Seydlitz, a seasoned hunter. Seydlitz, you have been here once before, or you've been at least in the vicinity to know where his home is. Where is his home in the Krakens?
Let me just pull up the map here since it's going to be easier to point it out. His home is in the moon side of the Krakens, not in the light.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tucked away in basically an alcove in the trees where it's like this small open area, but it's like surrounded by trees, and behind it is like a rocky cliff.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you guys pass through into the darkness of Nod, into the darkness of the ruins of the Nightlands, and you begin heading towards Sia's Cleft. As you get there, Seydlitz, you begin to lead Antares away from the cleft and up into the mountains proper. Antares, I don't know if you ever climbed this mountain before, but you realize very quickly why the cleft is the pass. Like, that's the one pass. Having traveled here, it's a fairly cut road. Maybe hilly, might be bumpy, but it's a cut road. You are climbing up jagged rocks and sheer cliff face as you scramble, probably not used to climbing on a mountain, climbing a sheer mountain. Seydlitz does seem somewhat more adept at this, but this is your first time climbing a mountain. What are you doing?
Well, she's following his lead. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, she's been into the Krakens before, but not like too far off the beaten path, because that's pleb work. And when you're when you're a favored, you get the lessers to do the hard work for you. So yeah, she's watching Seydlitz carefully. She is a warrior, so she's athletic by nature. So she's good enough and athletic enough to put her foot where he puts his foot, and she's got a pretty decent enough endurance that she can keep up with him. But
Okay.
yeah, she's just studying him and making sure she's following his lead as closely as possible.
Okay, outstanding. Seydlitz, I would like you to make me some kind of intelligence roll. So intelligence, difficulty is going to be level 5, and it's going to be about finding the path, right? You need to not only get yourself up the mountain, but you need to lead somebody up the mountain as well. So if you have anything...
Following and identifying tracks.
I'll allow that. So you can use that skill, and it will be a difficulty 5, and you can use any kind of effort that you want on this as well.
Oh, always apply the effort. Apply 1 effort to this. My thing is zoomed all the way up. Nope.
Okay.
That's a fail.
So unfortunately, that is a failure. You can spend XP to re-roll if you so choose. If you have any XP that is spare.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll re-roll it once. Just see how this works.
Do you know where we're going? She calls from below.
I told you my memory was fuzzy. Still is.
Well,
Okay. Yeah, you begin to head up up the mountain. This is not a path. You are basically forging a trail here. Rocks tumble down as you sort of grab onto any kind of handhold and foothold. There are between like sheer cliff faces to like rocky crags. This is a slow going and dangerous journey. What, if any, precautions are the two of you taking while climbing a mountain? Do you have ropes, hammers, pythons, anything like that? Are you
Seydlitz has
just
spikes, hammer, and ropes.
okay?
He's using them to make small anchor points and adjusting when he needs to.
Okay.
yeah, if that's what we need to do, then that's what we're gonna have to do, right? So,
Okay. Yeah. So that makes the going safer, albeit slower, between having yourselves tied off in a box seat to jabbing these pythons and hooks in there and like putting the rope in there in case you fall. That will give you a bonus asset to not die. Because it's dangerous. This takes the majority of the day, you think, with no sort of civilized life. It's difficult to tell the passage of time under the moon of Nod. The ominous red glow is kind of high in the sky. Go ahead. You have a question?
Can I argue that I would be able to tell the passage of time just because I've literally spent my entire life here?
You can argue it. Go ahead, argue it.
Well, I've lived here my entire life. I know there's nothing here, like you said, civilization-wise, but at least I should be able to figure out the passage of time within a couple of hours.
I'll allow that. Within a couple of
Yeah.
hours, you can have that. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Like most people tell the time by a watch. No one looks at the sun and goes, "It's noon."
Yeah. And no one looks at the moon and goes,
Yeah,
"It's 2 a.m.
yeah, it's 2 a.m. So yeah, you can guess, like, I mean, the passage of time, you're like, okay, yeah, it feels like it's probably been like an hour, 2 hours, combined with your knowledge of this general existence here. Yeah, so it does feel like it has been the majority of the day climbing between these peaks. You have seen hide nor hair of any kind of forested area, but you have, after what probably seems like 6 hours, right? That's like a solid part of the day. 6 hours, you have climbed to a level in the mountains that has sort of leveled out. It is rocky terrain. It is like jagged, almost like glass-like stone all around here. But the area is no longer like sheer cliff face or peaks. It's relatively flat for the next, like, I don't know, probably like a half mile in each direction, as far as you can tell, just kind of gauging it off of the dark and whatever light sources you guys might have. And probably a half mile forward is more rocky terrain. You guys can set up a camp, or you guys can continue pushing through the night, through any sort of weary muscle fatigue or whatever. But this is an arduous climb. What are you guys doing now that you've reached like a flat area?
How are you feeling, Antares?
No, right as rain. Ugh. And she'll sit down and drink from a water skin. Make sure you're drinking some water. I'm not carrying your ass out of here.
I wouldn't expect you to.
Do you want to keep going or should we take a break?
Well, overexertion is something that can get you killed as well, so we should find a place of possible shade and take a break. But no light. They'll just attract the Nafar.
Of course.
Fortunately, finding shade is easy in the Nightlands. It's everywhere.
A darker than normal.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a reflexive comment. you could
Yeah,
say.
you guys find a like a precipice, like a little outcropping of stone, forming like a shallow cave that the two of you can sort of rest in. There's nothing around you. There's no like vegetation, nothing to build a fire with unless you guys have something with you. But you do find like a small outcropping for you to kind of huddle under and have a rest, as it were. I would like both of you to roll me intelligence. Let's see here. Intelligence. Intelligence difficulty 8. This is this is like a perception roll. So anything you have that might make you more perceptible. Tracking, I'll allow that in Seydlitz as well.
Eye for detail.
Eye for detail, I'll let that as well. So yeah, you can take 2 assets for that one.
What about sense ambush?
I'll allow sense ambush.
That's not really the spirit of the ability. It just allows me to never be surprised by an attack.
I'll allow it as an asset.
Okay. So 7, but I have to spend effort in order to succeed on this, right? Still, right?
An 8 is a requirement of a 24 at least. So
Yeah, and a 7 is a 21.
Yep.
I reduced that difficulty way down to a 3 and roll a 3.
Yeah, you got it to you needed a 9 to succeed, and you got a 3. That's terrible.
XP exists for a reason.
Yeah, you can spend it if you got it. Jesus.
I have to take away 3 intelligence. I hope this is worth it.
Oh my god.
Submit.
Yep, all my luck was drained from the last one shot.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Ooh, sorry, this is taking me for a second. So you're allowing me to do that as an asset. Submit. 1 effort, 1 asset. Failure. I rolled a 17. I was so
She
close.
rolled a 17 in favor. And I rolled a 6 on a difficulty 3.
Difficulty
I have
8.
to.
You made her difficulty 6, which needed a target number of. Oh yeah. You literally needed 1 point.
One more.
I was like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, you definitely rolled. Okay. So the two of you are huddled under this precipice, this little cave here. Everything is quiet in the Nightlands. And Terriers, you have a strange sense of foreboding home, as you alone know that you are being hunted. At least you are inferred that you are being hunted. This information has not come out to anyone else. And the fact that there may be reconciliators around in the mountains, waiting in hiding, waiting in secret, combine that with the fact that there are 2 favored / 2 disgruntled siblings and some third mysterious person traveling looking for you, as it would seem. But nothing happens. You have a quiet rest here. Nothing jumps out at you. Nothing screeches in the distance. There is no sign of enemy movement. You guys are able to take a rest. If you'd like to discuss what you discuss on your rest, that's feel free. But if not, you guys can continue on your journey.
I think Antares would suggest they only rest for an hour and then keep going. Yeah, and she's got all these things on her mind, like reconciliators, the favored, and so she's cutting her eyes everywhere, even though they don't really hear anything. She is on guard.
Okay. Seydlitz, are you continuing to be relatively tight-lipped about this journey?
If Antares asks, then Seydlitz will tell her.
Okay.
Yeah, she won't ask right now.
Okay. Yeah. You guys continue. An hour passes. You are able to eat whatever trail rations you have brought with you. And you continue your journey. It is much as it was the first half, as the two of you climb this treacherous mountain. You climb for another 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. You're not entirely sure, and you begin to smell a forest, right? That telltale, like the different kind of soil, the smell of trees, and you climb over a rise, and there is a copse, a large copse of deciduous trees, right? It is as ominous looking as the mountain itself. These trees are rather large, around, also fairly tightly packed together. This seems like a very thick, dense forest. You can see underneath the boughs of these trees, and it is, despite being forever night here in the Nightlands, it is even darker under this canopy of trees. Seydlitz, you have a familiar feeling that this is where the house could be.
We're getting closer now.
I think she kind of crouches. She crouches low behind like some rocks, just so they're not standing in relief against their background.
Seydlitz is pulling out the crossbow and pulling it back an arm, readying a arrow, and saying, "Keep on your guard. We don't know what's in here."
Okay, hold on. This Regis guy, is he gonna be welcoming or is he gonna be hostile?
Well, he's definitely not going to be welcoming.
Who is this guy to you? This is the perfect time to figure that out.
He is the last man who has seen my father alive at the bottom of the depths. He went on, he was
Okay.
with you heard of the Whitecaps, haven't you?
I don't know.
Roll me an intelligence, difficulty 3.
Nope. I have not heard of them.
There you go.
I don't think they operate inside the Nightlands.
They usually aren't. They're usually around the holdfasts, around the entrance to the depths.
Okay.
Basically, they're a big guild, as you would call, group guild, whatever you, of explorers, people who dedicate to those depths to explore. My father worked with them. They had a big expedition to try to make it to the bottom. Regis is the only man that came back.
Sounds suspicious and convenient. Okay, so you're here to find out if he knows the fate of your father.
That and any information I can get about what happened, how to get down there, maps, basically anything.
Okay. She scrutinizes him.
I've tried this once before. He wouldn't speak then either.
Okay. So are we kind of looking at bad cop type of thing?
What? Good reconciliator, bad reconciliator?
There's no good reconciliators. Wow.
There could be. Fine. Bad reconciliator, worse reconciliator.
Yeah, there's, based on the definition of good, yeah, okay. I'm sure there's some good ones out there. All right, well, I guess we'll burn that bridge when we come to it. And she will hop down from the rock after you.
Seydlitz kind of like crouch walking with the crossbow, and slowly it starts entering this woods and like
Okay.
brushing aside shrubs and thickets.
Okay. You guys head deeper into this forest, or you head into the forest. Immediately, you feel that closed in, almost claustrophobic feeling of this forest, right? You feel the temperature changes a few degrees. The forest is so thick that it sort of has that barrier of warmth in it. And as you look up, this is the first time since you've re-entered the Nightlands, you see nothing above you. There is no nod. There is no, glinting red star. There is nothing above you except for vast darkness. You are, if not for the trees and whatever light sources you have with you, you would see nothing in any direction. Occasionally bumping off of a tree or putting your hands out like you're walking through a cavern and moving from tree to tree. It's in fact incredibly difficult to determine which direction you are actually even going. For all you could have taken a turn and be headed right back out to the mountainside. As such, Seydlitz, I would like a navigation roll from you. This will be a difficulty 5 navigation roll.
All right, dice gods, have pity on me.
Go.
Yay!
Okay. Okay.
Woohoo.
Yeah, you have your wits about you here. And so you have whatever it is, either like, your right hand is constantly moving on certain things, or you're leaving some kind of mark in the trees. You're able to find your way through this forest. It is deathly quiet here. Say that you're used to hunting, right? This is your job outside of the Nightlands. This is a quiet forest. Usually there's some sort of animal noise, a scurry, a scuffling under a rock, some sort of, a scamper here, a twig break, an insect sound, nothing. This is as if you stuck your fingers in your ears, you hear nothing. In fact, as you walk through this forest, you even notice that, though careful as you are, Seydlitz, your your footfalls, the occasional snap of a branch is muffled. It's almost as if the darkness here is suppressing sound. And Teres, you notice this too after a second, though not as trained into those kinds of things, especially in the woods. It does feel oppressively silent in this place, as if perhaps unnaturally so.
Yeah.
But you guys continue through the forest for what seems like maybe an hour and a half, and you can see a break in the trees. You can see a little glow of red as you travel through. And about 30 feet in front of you, about 10 yards in front of you, is a clearing that you can see. A little beam of red sort of breaks through the trees. And you can see that the ground has leveled and there are no trees. Not that they were cut down or fallen, it just is a line of delineation between forest and rock. This appears to be a similar flat clearing as the one you kind of rested on before. Still lots of small rocks, jagged, sharp rocks, about fist-sized. But that's what you see as you move towards the outer edge, or at least what you think is the outer edge of the forest. What are you guys doing? How are you approaching this?
And I think she'll stop again like how she stopped before. Okay. How do you want to approach this?
Given that it's too quiet as it is, and I bet you've noticed. I don't know at this point. That sense of foreboding is upon me at this moment.
I've felt it ever since we started climbing.
Why didn't you say anything?
It's kind of just a natural feeling when you're in the Nightlands. But there's not much we could do about it. It's not like you were going to turn around, right?
No.
So when we get up to this guy and she'll check, we don't see anything past the tree, like past the clearing.
You don't. I mean, not from here. It's 30 feet from you to the end of the to the edge of the clearing, and it's the Nightlands, so there's not a whole lot you can see that far away.
Okay. Well, if he surprises us, I'll follow your lead. I'm assuming we don't want to kill him.
I would need him alive for what I need. Then if you want to kill him, you can kill him afterwards.
She nods
No.
and just
Please don't.
starts head. She just nods and heads forward.
Like, yes, got it. Kill.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're back in the Nightlands, baby.
It's totally legal here. Murder. Okay, yeah,
I didn't
Go.
buy my murder indulgence.
that's true. That's true.
It comes free with my favored membership card.
Jesus. Jesus.
And she just walks forward.
Okay, you guys head out of the forest. You see this little clearing before you. This is, for Antares, unexpected, right? You were told what would be here, a small little cabin in the woods. What you didn't see is someone making a strange life for themselves. Gee, this is a reference just for you. You know when the character you're portraying went to the weird other world and they built a little cabin with a little farm outside of it in the 100? That's what you see here.
Okay.
Did you not see that show? That's what your character is based on?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, the 100.
Yeah, that weird place in like season 6. So you see this little log cabin, this small, probably no rooms wooden cabin. Outside of it, you see a raised bed, also made out of wooden logs, despite not seeing any cut trees around here. And in this raised bed is a completely overgrown garden. In fact, as you look at it, the entire cabin itself is covered in moss. Seydlitz, roll me a difficulty 4, intelligence nature check.
I have to roll straight intelligence for that. So.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so you look at this. The level of moss on here is strange, right? It's not befitting of this place. This amount of moss would lead you to believe this place is like humid, or there's a lot of moisture in here. There's little to no dirt around here. It's just like rocky crags and shattered pieces of the mountain itself. This is not a place that is like super hospitable to growing anything. Yeah, it's a mountain. Yeah, it's a sheer cliff mountain. The amount of moss on here is strange. There shouldn't be that much moss given where you are. But as you can see, the entire cabin is covered in it. There is no lights coming in from inside the cabin, and there's no movement either.
Is that red light you mentioned coming from Nod?
It is.
Okay. Okay.
The sheer amount of moss makes me think of that one guy in the bathrobe that we met on our travels.
Galvin.
Yeah, that's his name.
Good old Galvin.
And she's standing close to Seydlitz and she's talking very, very quietly. Doesn't look like anybody's home.
Yes,
Shall we
and
knock?
I would not advise knocking. Too much noise.
And she kind of looks around. He probably doesn't get a lot of visitors out here. And most likely he already knows we're here.
Then be my guest and knock. Just knock lightly.
I can be subtle. And she walks forward.
That's
And then
weird.
she
I've never
will-
seen that happen before.
Yeah. She slowly approaches she cautiously approaches the door, listening for any kind of movement. And she will just very lightly rap on the door.
Yeah. Roll me intelligence difficulty 3. Perception based.
Does my sense ambush, can I use that as an asset?
Not in this instance.
Okay. You said 3, right?
I did.
Okay. Oh, are you kidding me?
Joy.
Jeez.
Uh,
That's an
I'm not.
intrusion.
It is. I'm not spending an XP to wipe that out. I just
Okay.
feel like that's
Okay.
fuck.
Outstanding. Seydlitz, you did not head up there with her? Is that correct?
Seydlitz is behind her.
Okay.
Stick close.
Okay, close. Okay. So the two of you, for the briefest of seconds, that almost comforting little red light overhead disappears and then reappears. The glow from Nod disappears, then reappears. That is your GM intrusion. You knock on the door. There is no response.
She glances at Seydlitz and reaches for the handle. Doesn't turn it or push it, but she'll grab onto it and
Mhm.
look at him like, you want to do this?
Seydlitz nods.
And then she will slowly turn or depress the handle or whatever, and she will slowly push the door. If it's unlocked, first of all, is it locked?
It is unlocked.
Okay, then she will she'll stand back, so she's not like standing right in the door, and she will stand to the side and slowly push it open.
You notice immediately upon giving this door even the briefest of shoves that it wasn't even closed. This door was slightly ajar, made to look like it was closed. You turn this handle and it just creaks open. There is no light in the cabin. There's no sound in the cabin. It is pitch black in here.
I love it when I hate it when that happens. And she will peek inside. Do you want to risk lighting a torch?
I think we have to at this point. Overgrown moss, a door that wasn't closed. I don't think he's been home for a while.
When did he return from the deeps?
Years ago.
Okay, so when was the last time you saw him?
Last time I was up here.
I know, but when? How long ago?
Let's say let's remember the time scale.
Yeah, sure. I think your father's been missing for what, 15 years?
Yeah. So it would been basically that long. Actually, probably not that long. Probably more like 13. But
She
Yeah.
kind of stops and looks at him. You haven't seen this man in 13 years?
we would get reports from a courier every once in a while that would go up the mountain and bring him supplies.
Jesus. So we don't know how.
Yes, that has been the idea he could possibly be gone. But still.
Is this place cabin relatively enclosed? Like in terms of like windows? Like if we lit a torch, how well is it going to illuminate from the outside?
There are, you saw at least 2 windows sort of glinting under the moonlight, facing the forest. So if you lit a torch or some kind of lantern, the light would go out. You can feel around and stumble and see if there are shutters that you can close, or a cloak you can throw over the top of it. But you do know there are windows.
Okay. Do we want to light a torch?
As she says that Seydlitz got a torch in hand and he's already decided he's going to.
Okay. You strike this torch, and the room erupts in bright orange light from the flame on this torch. You see what could have been a nice cabin at one point. However, what you see now is a cabin that has been completely tossed. There are claw marks, as best you can tell. The furniture has been flipped over, tables, beds. It looks like either like a large feral creature just went on a rampage in here, or somebody was actively looking for something. But you see that there is some sort of force happened in here. You see that the little glints of light you had seen from the glass panes in the windows, most of that has been shattered out, and what you saw was a few pieces of the glass panes in there. You see that there are cracks in the logs, in the internal logs, and this place is completely tossed. What are you doing?
Can I roll to see if not just being tossed, but can I tell if there was a physical struggle in here?
Yeah, roll me an intelligence difficulty because everything is so crazy. Roll me a difficulty 5. This
Can
will
I
be
argue?
this will be intelligence.
Okay, can I argue an asset based on I've killed a lot of people and know what a physical scuffle might look like?
I will take that as an asset. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
18.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a
Yeah.
success.
Yeah. So as you begin to like comb over this room, and like without moving so much of the debris, try to like disturb the scene here. Yeah, things are definitely broken in a way that would like there's not an earthquake or a windstorm that did this, right? You see that several of the pieces of timber in the log cabin are shattered like in a line that would indicate something of great force was slung into that. You see that things are shattered in far more pieces than should be if it like tipped over and broke or was just like tossed against something. Like repeated strikes would break this. And you also see blood.
Okay.
It's not
And
like pools. Sorry, it is pools, but it's not like a large pool of blood. Like this is where a guy was murdered. There's just like blood spatter and like little poolings all over the place, as if something happened on a large scale.
yeah, and Seydlitz is probably if he's watching her at all, he sees her. I don't want to say like moving like how the slain were moving, but she's very fluid in her movements. Like she's not disturbing any of the like evidence or the crime scene or anything like that. She's stepping around everything, and she's like very smooth and like just moving back and forth, looking at everything, and uh she'll crouch and examine something, and then she'll stand back up, and there's a physical struggle here, and then she will point at the wall, and there's like a streak of blood, and she just like she makes like a slow slashing movement with her arm, as in like a sword slashing movement, and like the blood splatter matches the arm movement. Something was here attacking. Possibly your friend.
Fortunately, it would seem, and he's not my friend.
Well, you know what I mean.
But why would someone attack a man like this? Just makes me wonder more what he knew. You think there are notebooks? He may have
Probably,
wrote
unless
down something helping.
all depends on if this mess is because of the fight or the fight and they were looking for something. And can I tell? Obviously, the blood is dry.
No.
Okay.
No, it is not dry. There are parts where it is dry. You know what? Roll me. I'll tell you this for free. The blood is dry in places. It is not dry in other places. Roll me an intelligence. I'm going to say difficulty 5, unless you have some sort of medical knowledge. This goes beyond kicking people's asses.
Yeah, other than spilling blood.
Yeah, no. It goes beyond that.
Did I get the right target number?
You did a difficulty 4. So unless
sorry.
you want to spend some intelligence effort, that would be a failure.
No.
Okay. No, you know that it is not dry in some places. However, it is dry in many places. The smaller ones are dry. The larger pools are less dry, and not like fluidy.
Yeah, coagulated.
Yes.
And she will she will point that out. It's like, okay, so this might not be as old as we think.
I'm gonna look at the blood stains, and I would like to roll an eye for detail. See if like is the blood like in a certain direction, or like is there droplets, whereas if they fell from something that was moving.
Yeah, roll me difficulty 5, and you can use eye for details.
All these intelligence rolls, Corax would be so proud.
I know, right?
Even though we're failing everything.
No, right. And the thing is, I'm failing technically difficulty freeze because I'm good trained. So a 5 is a 4 plus the 1 effort.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. You rolled a 5 and you needed a 9. Yeah. So you look around and it appears there's just too much blood to tell, right? You can tell this is not enough blood to be all of someone's blood. However, there is a great deal of blood, and it's kind of scattered in different directions, and there's drops here and slashes here and pools here, and it's difficult to discern if somebody was moving through these.
Yeah. Okay, one more question about the
Yeah.
crime scene. Can we possibly determine if it's more than one or how many?
Yes. I will say with your combined successes, you rolled an 18, which is like a mini crit. So since there's no damage here, I will give you, there is one person's blood here.
Okay. And would I be able to tell how many attackers there were?
No.
Okay.
Because of how much destruction is in here, it could be one large thing, a couple of medium things, or many small things. It's hard to determine what it could be. You know, based on the size of this cabin, you probably couldn't fit more than 10 people uncomfortably in here. You could fit probably a whole ass bear. So that's your size range. Somewhere between 10 people and a bear.
Okay.
Taylor's gonna look around the room, and he's like anything discernible, like I don't know, like shattered tables, chairs, or is like anything like a desk with like drawers or like books thrown around.
Yeah. Roll me, fortunately, intelligence, like some kind of searching. This will be a difficulty 4.
Time for eye for detail to actually work.
Yeah, eye for detail could work for this as well.
Come on, difficulty 4.
Difficulty 4.
All right. If I fail a difficulty 2,
11. You succeed. Okay, outstanding.
thank you.
You look around here, right, trying to find some sort of like, you know, a chest, a book, a notebook, a something. What you find, right, is none of those things, but not in a way that like this guy just didn't keep them. You're not the first person to make this search. There are you notice as you're probably less careful than Antares, kind of moving things around and looking for things. There are holes, not cut, but like perhaps punched or kicked or smashed in the floor that reveal like compartments under floorboards. There are areas that are like destroyed around the side walls of the cabin that also reveal like possibly what could have been a hidden nook in the actual wall itself. It looks as though somebody came possibly looking for the same thing you're looking for, or at least what they think is in here. Something was possibly hidden here and has been removed by force.
Seydlitz points to all these little nooks and crannies out the Antares, and how it's like they're strange that they're vacant. So I think I know what our attacker was looking for.
Yeah, what we were hoping to get a hold of, I suspect.
Someone's beat us to it. Now the question is, can we
Seems-
find that someone?
Yeah. So you don't find it odd that someone was here relatively recently, probably within the last week, or at least the last 5 days, looking for the same thing that we're looking for right now?
Of course, I find it odd, but I think it's better to try to find out why than sit here and dwell on things.
True. Where's the body?
That is the one big question. So we can assume he's probably not dead yet.
Is there enough blood to determine that this Regis is dead?
No. There is not enough blood to decide he's dead. There is a lot of blood. It is not, like I said, all of his blood, or a lethal amount of blood. Dying, depending on how long the blood has been here, possibly, could be dead from the elements if he survived this initial encounter. Could have been taken, are options that come to your head.
Yeah. Well, when this fight occurred, he was still alive. So, you feel like tracking something?
That's what I'm here for. Seydlitz is going to turn to the door with a torch. He's like, I'm about to do something really risky, though. And he's going to open the door and shine the torch out and look at the ground. Is like, does he see any discernible trails?
You
Looking
do.
for those.
You do. With your eye for detail and your skilled tracking, you open the door, or you push aside this like hanging door, and you hold the torch outside, and you do see that there are small pools of blood that seem to head towards the raised bed of overgrown vegetables, and towards like the back side of the house. However, as you see those things, both Seydlitz and Antares, you are quickly overcome by the most awful, horrendous headache you have ever experienced in your entire lives. This is like someone drove one of those climbing spikes directly into your forehead. It is so much so that you Seydlitz, as you hold this torch, you see spots just pop in front of you. It's almost enough to drive both of you, a less seasoned person, to their knees. A Korax, perhaps. But the two of you stumble back and sort of grab onto whatever's near you and steady yourself against this onslaught of just mental trauma that is happening to you. And Terry's, roll me an intelligence. Difficulty 4.
Okay. Does my sense ambush or reconciliator give me any assets?
What does Reconciliator do? Oh, just that you
Um,
were one?
Knowledge. It's a knowledge
Yes.
reconciliators.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend an effort. One asset. Success.
Okay. Despite struggling under a mental onslaught of pain,
Yeah.
there's a spark of familiarity to this. Not a reconciliator. This calls back to a much younger Antares, which is concerning into itself. You have felt this level of pain before. You are drawn back into the tower in Corso. There is a chamber below your mother's, a sort of training chamber. And you are vividly recalling this memory where a young Antares and two thus far unnamed siblings stand in a sort of triangular wedge formation. And your mother stands there holding some number of mechanical / arcane / divine devices. And in front of you is what I can only describe as a flying carpet of human skin. It sort of wrinkles and folds and almost flaps like a manta ray before you, and you see like two eyes open just randomly far apart on each other. One of them sort of flicks and rotates and flicks. The skin flaps over, and that eye sort of stares at you. You can see that your mother is not straining under this, but she's definitely using several implements to what you can only assume to be is keep herself safe. And the three of you are just getting your asses handed to you by whatever this thing is. And it sparks in your mind this training event that your mother held for you. This is a raver.
Fuck.
You would know that a raver is quite literally the skin of dead gods. there is a raver somewhere that has sensed your divine spark between the two of you. The pain in your head means that it is close proximity.
Yeah, and she's like, she swears, and they're kind of stumbling back. She has that
What
memory.
is this?
She grabs Seydlitz by the back and pulls him back into the cabin and kicks the door shut.
You kick the door shut, the onslaught of pain does not stop.
Seydlitz stumbles falls over because he didn't expect it and he couldn't keep himself up. You just hear him crashing to the ground.
It's a raver. Sorry, raver or reaver?
Raver.
Raver.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a raver. And she leans against the door to keep from going to one knee. It's close. I think it's sensing us.
Not even gonna bother to ask what the heck a raver is, because this headache hurts like hell.
It's you don't want to know. It's attracted to things of power. Either lots of magical items, lots of ciphers, divine people. Because we carry power within us. There's nothing else here. This is the only thing that could be. I haven't seen one in a very long time.
What are you guys doing?
I know if his pain goes away?
It does not.
Frack.
The mere presence of a raver, especially in someone of divinity, is enough to induce horrendous migraines. Not enough for me to give you actual damage points, but it is a painful experience.
We're going to have to push through it, Seydlitz. As long as it's near, and as long as we're within its vicinity, it's not going to go away. And she'll push herself up and roll her neck. And then she just has this really hard look on her face.
How close?
50 feet.
Seydlitz takes the torch and he's gonna crack that door and he's gonna toss it out into the air, into the night sky. See if he can get the light on whatever this raver thing is.
Absolutely. Yeah, oh, good.
They all look the same, like the flying carpet of skin. They're all
basically.
Okay.
There's not a lot. There's not a lot to a skin blanket. They're pretty grimy. I'll be sure to post a picture for the patrons later.
Remember the crawling carnage?
I'd rather forget.
Yeah, well, it's something similar. Not multiple bodies, but it's skin that flies.
Yeah, so you open the door and you toss this thing out. As soon as it leaves your hand, the glow sort of emanates in almost a sphere, and you see three things. Two match the very vague description that Antares just gave you. Essentially, it looks as if you grabbed a clump of skin off of someone's back and tore it from their body. There are ligaments and tendons, and it is part of it, it's coagulated underneath it. And the skin is lumpy and scarred, and you see an eye here, what looks to be a half a mouth with teeth on one side. It is a disgusting amalgam of flesh. And it just seems to be pulsing and undulating while floating around. You see two of them flanking something you've never seen before, either of you. There is a rather large flying something. This looks to be the torso, arms, and helmet of armor is the closest thing you can pin this to. However, you see that this black armor has sheens of red where any of the cracks and crevices might be. You see that there's almost a cross across its face, and a pulsating red light sort of beams from that. You see that there's red markings on its chest, and there are two massive metallic wing-shaped things It looks like if you took all of the meat off of wings and replaced the bone structure with sharp metal. This thing sort of spins towards the cabin, and you see its sharp talon-like claw hands point towards you, and the ravers begin to towards you.
Well, fuck. And she's
Outstanding.
closes the door.
It's like grabs Seydlitz closed door.
Yeah.
The blood trail led behind the house. Do you think there's an escape route back there?
Guys, I wish we had more combat. Okay.
I don't recall ever saying that.
That's what Salem says. He turns to Antares, or he's like, or do you think we'll have to fight these things?
Based on my only previous experience with these things, one was kicking our asses. Did we end up defeating it?
I'm gonna say no, right? So as children, you were forced into this combat. This is like the boggart in the closet scene in Harry Potter, right? Like your mother put this thing on you so that you guys could experience this, essentially. And when it kicked your asses, she bottled it back up or put it away, essentially.
Fuck.
To be fair, you were also children.
Yeah.
Sorry about the yawning. Tired.
Me too.
That thing in the center was not a raver. You've never seen that
Yeah.
before in your life.
I don't know what the fuck that was. Yeah, I say
Best
let's
pray to the old gods that there's an escape route behind this house.
yeah. Is there a back window that we can dive through?
There is not.
Okay.
Your best guess, Seydlitz, is if there were an escape route, there likely would not have been a trail of blood out of the front door.
Okay. She's gonna light one of her torches.
Mhm.
And
The torch is still
Yeah.
lit outside, just on the ground.
yeah, but she's not gonna go out and grab that one. She's intending to throw this at one of the ravers.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you light it, you strike a torch. Are you throwing at it right now?
How they're far away, right?
No.
Sorry, they're not.
They're
not,
like
they're not
15
far
feet
away?
outside the door.
Okay. Well, we might be able to take out some of them and then run. Maybe that big fucker is not that quick.
Guess we're fighting then.
Do you want to run? We don't have much time.
I don't think we have much choice at this moment.
All right. Then she's going to kick open the door and then launch this Aragorn style, the torch, at one of the ravers.
Okay, make me a ranged attack difficulty 4.
Is that speed?
Yeah, that would be speed.
Difficulty 4. Do I have anything that helps with this? I do not. Submit. Fails.
Yeah, so you open the door, you grab the end of this torch, and you throw this at this raver. It quickly, like amorphously moves around, like a bag twisting in the wind. The torch flies past it about 10 feet from the edge of the forest and just clatters to the ground. You have now plenty of light, as there are 2 torches out there. What are you doing, Seydlitz?
And Terry's decided to fight. Seydlitz is going to one of the shattered windows with his crossbow, and he's gonna fight with her.
Okay. Who are you targeting?
The closest raver I can see.
Okay, yeah, they're both in range of you, so go ahead and roll me a ranged combat at difficulty 4.
And she's not going to step out of the door. She's staying inside, so they have to come in one at a time. Bottleneck.
Sure they do.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Would you like to spend
Oh,
an
no.
XP?
Gee, do you recommend it? Because I only have the 1 XP.
Ooh, fuck. I would, just because. Yeah.
All right.
just because typically these intrusions in combat are not good things.
I'm gonna re-roll it then. Last XP. There we go.
Worth it.
Okay. So yeah, you get up to the window, sort of clear some of the debris away. You fire a bolt of your crossbow. It spins through the air, through the flames or through the light of the torch, and you see it like skewer through one of the ravers. They're only like a half an inch thick, and it flies and disappears somewhere into the forest. You see this like acrid black blood sort of leaking down from the hole that you just pierced through this thing. You did 4 damage on that sucker. Okay.
Yay.
And phew, it goes right through him. And Terry's, I will let you have another action before these things definitely bottleneck through the door.
Oh, I don't have any ranged weapons. Yeah, she's just gonna go on the defensive for now.
Okay. I think you can take a defensive action, which will give you a plus. It'll give you an asset on a defense roll.
Okay.
Outstanding. You stand there. You brace yourself in the door frame, draw your weapon, and you take that defensive stance. Seydlitz is in one of the windows. Both of the ravers launch towards the building. The first one swivels and swarms towards you, Antares. The second one, as if possibly having some level of intelligence themselves, beelines directly towards the glass window that Seydlitz is not in and smashes through it and just sort of falls and tumbles to the ground and lifts back up. There's one in the house, and Antares, I need you to make me a difficulty 4 speed defense roll to get out of the way of this fucking thing that's coming at you.
Okay. Speed. I'm gonna spend 1 effort on speed. And my defensive stance gives me an asset. Success.
Okay. So this thing moves towards you, and you see it like stretch out and try to like almost engulf you. But you can easily step back and sort of like use the door to like get the thing away from you. Whatever this armor creature is, just sort of hovers back and forth as if not engaging in the fight, perhaps commanding these ravers. Say that it is your turn. There is a raver in the house. There is a raver engaged with Antares, and this weird armored thing is outside the house. What are you doing?
Well, I'm not running outside, that's for sure.
Good call. It's a good call.
So I'm probably gonna have to deal with the one inside the house. So I have a longsword.
Okay. At this moment, it is still far enough that you could take a shot at it, or you can draw your sword and your saber and head out towards it.
Then I think I'm going to take the shot.
Okay, go for it.
Better to keep my cover. Difficulty 4.
Difficulty 4. Yep.
You know, it's nice having one edge, so you can just roll at least an effort without having to actually spend anything. Though that's still a fail.
Okay, yeah, so you hear the smash of glass, you quickly turn around, loose that bolt, it hits randomly off a piece of wood, tinks into the wall. This thing is unaffected, and you think it turned towards you. It's hard to tell with a fleshy mass. Antares, you are face-to-face-ish with one of these things. What are you doing?
I'm going to attack it.
Okay, difficulty 4.
Yeah. She's going to slashy as she kind of ducks and spins out of the way of its attack. She kind of rolls up behind it as much as you can with something like this, and she's going to attack. Difficulty is 4, you said?
Difficulty 4, yep.
Okay. Effort to roll, no assets. Success, 18.
18, okay, so a mini crit there. So you deal a total of
4 damage plus that special.
Yeah, so six damage.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you like dip, dodge, dive, weave. You slash into this thing, and you cut through. It's a very strange feeling, right? You've cut through flesh before. This is not the same. Usually, there's muscle tissue and bone to stop you. You slide through this thing like a pair of shears through fabric. A little bit more resistance, but you cleave off a chunk of flesh from this flesh chunk, and it falls to the ground and sort of writhes, and then you see it like shudder and start to liquefy into that black ichor. You have cut a chunk off of it. There is a cascade of black ichor dripping from that slash mark you just left through it. It's still up, but you did do some damage to it.
Okay.
I would like the two of you to both make me a difficulty 4 speed defense, as the one attacking Antares is coming for you again, and the one inside the room is coming for you, Seydlitz.
Is that defensive thing an ongoing thing, or do I have to like?
That's in place of an action. You take a defensive stance, so you do not get that every time.
So I've already gotten it. Okay.
Yeah.
Speed defense difficulty 4.
I wish I had a speed defense. I could only just roll speed.
Speed defense is just speed. If you have like a shield, it gives you a bonus to speed defense. So unless you have something that does that.
I have a stat on my skill thing that says intelligent defense.
Yeah, I think it's because you have a bonus to intelligence defense based on your character. A 13 succeeds. You definitely dodge out of the way
20.
of this thing.
There's the luck.
Okay, cool.
Ooh, nice.
Okay, cool. So you got a nat 20. Not a damaging attack, so I'm not going to have the +4 damage. But a major effect. What is something you would like? So you dodge this thing, and then what happens?
I would like it to careen into the other flesh carpet, knocking them both into the wall.
Yeah, okay. So the other flesh carpet is outside, right? Is that true, Antares? Or did you switch places with it? Are you behind it? Are you outside? Or are you inside? You were
I
in.
assumed I
You're like in the
assumed it came
doorway.
inside.
One of them is inside.
so-
You were in the doorway. So unless you got outside behind it, because you said you like dodged behind it.
Sure, if that's where I have to be, then she'll
Sure.
be like just on like the
Honestly, why not
threshold.
Antares like dodge back? This thing comes careening
Yeah.
and they just kind of collide into
Perfect.
each other in the doorway.
Perfect. I like that. Yeah. So you dodge around this thing and sort of push it off, and it smashes with a wet smack into the other one, and the two of them sort of entangle and fumble around, and like you hear that sickening separation of their gooey insides as they pull apart. Two of them are now together, but now you and Antares are together, and you are able to close the door for whatever that might help you against the strange armored
Woohoo!
creature.
Close.
Yeah, so you both succeeded in your defense. It is your turns.
Yeah, she is going. Since it attacked, what do I have? No, that's not what I wanted. No, that's not what I want. I do not have what I'm thinking. That's fine. Yep, she's just going to attack.
Okay.
Difficulty 4. Effort.
They're still far enough away. I can shoot the crossbow from the corner.
I failed.
Okay, you can still shoot the crossbow, so by all means.
This is easier than declaring a weapon change, so. Yay, 12.
Outstanding. Yeah, so you target, you can tell the difference between them now. One has a slashed chunk missing, one has a hole through it. So you can retarget the one that you had previously shot, and you fire a bolt through that thing. Same thing, pierces a hole right through it. You hear it stick in the back of the wall. That is 4 additional damage on this guy. No damage on the first one. And I need both of you to make me a speed defense difficulty 4 as these things come at you.
Yay for wretched flesh carpets of doom.
Listen, when you
That's
asked for more
failure.
combat, what'd you think? I was like, oh, a goblin attacks you.
I'm not the one who asked for more combat. That's a fail.
Okay.
I'm going to use my block ability. Auto block is this considered a melee attack?
It
Auto
is.
block the next melee attack made against you in the next minute.
Okay, you can auto block
Yes.
this attack. That uses your ability. Outstanding. Seydlitz, I would like you to roll me a D100.
Oh god.
I forget the commands on Roll20. It's just a /R D100. Mike?
What's that? Yeah, sorry, it's R/R? Yeah, /R space D100.
All right. Double checking. It's been a while. 15.
Okay.
God.
Okay. Seydlitz,
I have a new
buddy.
God.
Uh-oh.
Bubby.
And Teres has shown her skill in combat. She's a favored of Nalumriel, the dragon, whatever that means. Definitely a powerful ally or adversary. But perhaps it isn't just her skill that is what makes her so good in these situations. Perhaps it's the things she has on her. You saw her, or you've seen that she has a strange pendant somewhere on her person. You
No, I
want
don't.
it. You've seen it, whether she has it there or not now. You want it. You have been affected by a curse. The target becomes smitten with an ally's possession and tries to steal it. Somewhere hidden on Anteri's person is some kind of amulet, as far as you know. You want it. Do with that what you will. I know. That is their attack. Teres, you have like put up like a block. You sort of grabbed it and like pushed it away from you. No curse for you. But you do see that there is a little bit of lust in Seydlitz's eyes. Perhaps not for you, but definitely pointed at you. As he has this raver sort of wrapped around like his back. It's like one like flesh flap over his shoulder and one like on the side of him, as it seems to be like undulating on him. It is your turns. What are the two of you doing?
Yeah,
I
she glances at Seydlitz and this thing is on him.
Yeah, I mean it's not like attached to him. It's not like in a grapple. It's just like touching him.
Okay. Yeah, she's going to attack that one.
Okay, go for it.
Difficulty 4. Whoops. Submit. Effort 1. Submit. Success.
Okay.
4 damage.
You dart out and slash at this thing. You carve another chunk off. You see it hit the ground. Same thing, and it becomes that black ichor. It is still up. It is no longer on Seydlitz, but you don't see any change in his personage.
Yeah. And
Seydlitz-
as she attacks it, she's like, "What? Are you okay?"
Seydlitz, are
And
you
then
okay?
she will
I have
turn
to
her
ask
focus.
this as
but-
more of a lot. Is this curse kind of like where I kind of infatuated with the sense where it's like I want that at any cost, or can I have the logical of I want to defeat these ravers first, then try to get it?
I will let you decide.
I think Seydlitz is gonna probably preserve thinks these things are still a threat, but he still wants it, but he's still gonna attack the raver.
Okay.
Like Settler means. And he's gonna pull his long sword out and attack this thing.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to rationalize it. He can't get the thing if these other things are trying to get him first.
That's good. That's true.
Good
Do you
success.
attack the same one that was attacking you?
Yes.
Okay, so you slash out with your saber. You cleave this thing clean in half. The bottom half falls with a splat to the ground, and it liquefies. You see the other one sort of curl on the ends as if like being burned, and it too hits the ground and melts into black ichor. The first one of these is dead. G.
Hey, Terry's. After this is over, do you mind if I see that amulet of yours?
What? And she's like,
That's what he
Ding,
says
ding.
right after it falls.
yeah.
Antares.
Yeah.
GM intrusion.
Oh no. Okay.
If you'd like one, you can say no. You can spend an XP to cancel this out. If you accept it, you get an XP, and you get to give an XP to an ally of your choice.
I have 0
Okay.
XP, so
Yeah.
The death of the Raver has attracted the attention of the creature outside. He's going to attack. That is your GM intrusion right now.
Shit. What do you think? Seydlitz.
I don't know what that thing is.
I don't know what it is
I know we
either.
can kill the Ravers, but I don't know if we can kill that. And even if we kill the other one, may attract it still.
Yeah. Ooh. I think I will decline this one, actually.
Do you have an XP to spend?
I do.
Okay. So you spend an XP, you cancel out this intrusion. Don't say I never gave you anything.
You didn't give me anything.
I did. I tried to give you something. And you said no, thank you, no, thank you. I don't want that. I'm
XP
good.
coupled with the side effect of possible murder.
Listen, that's not my fault. That's just the rules of the game.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Those in the chat,
So
like, XP's nice. Take it.
yeah. So nothing happens from this creature outside. You notice nothing. It does nothing. It is ready to rock and roll. One down. That was Seydlitz's action. And Terry's, the other one is still on you, so I need you to roll me a difficulty 4 speed defense.
Yeah. Difficulty first. Speed defense. Let's go. Success.
Outstanding. This thing again,
He's got all
it stretches out, and like you can see that like when you pull skin kind of taut, you can see like almost the light from the fires outside like passing through it as it stretches itself out and tries to enshroud you in meat jacket. However,
It'd be more like flesh jacket, not meat jacket.
yeah, you're right. A flesh jacket, a flesh suit. He tries to
Oh,
Buffalo
God.
Bill you as you like put up your blade and sort of take a step back, preventing it from enshrouding you in its skin flaps. It is your turns collectively.
Yeah,
Go.
I'm just curious, like, because I rolled an 18, so I get the special +2 damage. Like, how is
Yeah.
that?
So,
Like, so obviously that's kind of wasted. Like,
Yes.
mechanically.
Yep,
Okay.
that's correct. On a 19, you can do something minor. On a 20, you can do something major.
Yeah.
On an 18, there's no bonus to that.
Yeah, I'm just wondering why that's even there. Okay.
Because
that's
it's
fine.
built. It's just built into the mechanics of the roll. It doesn't. The roll mechanics on roll 20 don't know the difference between what you're rolling. Just that an 18 gives you +2 damage. So it can't tell the difference between an attack roll, a skill roll, or a defense
I
roll.
see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so she'll again, she kind of spins out of the way again. Moving very fluidly. And yeah, it's our turn. So
Yep,
she's
it is your
going
turns.
to, she is going to attack as per usual. Difficulty 4. Effort 1. Success again. 4 damage.
Okay, 4 damage. You slash the shit out of this thing. Still up. But you do cleave another chunk off it, sizzles to the ground, is dead. Or that chunk is dead. Seydlitz, what about you?
I'm attacking it too with the longsword.
Okay,
With-
4 more
with
points of
that-
damage.
What are the odds we survived this? Hey, Terry.
I'm not worried about that right now.
You
Less
should be.
talk- Less talking, more slashing.
I just slashed it already.
You slash up a chunk. This thing, you have cleaved this almost entirely into pieces. There is still probably a dinner plate sized chunk floating, and you see it like fold over itself, almost like rolling a piece of paper. And on the part that rolls over, you just see this like strangely shaped eye with almost like a cat-like slit that glows red as it like mad-eye moodies towards you. Let me see here. We'll do this. We'll do that old school technique of rolling. On a 1, it's Antares. On a 2, it is Seydlitz. Antares, make me a speed defense difficulty 4.
Is this a melee attack?
It is.
Can I use my block ability again?
Read me the block ability.
Auto block the next melee attack made against you in the next minute.
Let me see here. Are you spending? Is it a?
It cost me 3 speed.
Yeah. As like if you have speed left in your speed pool, you can still do that.
Well, I have 1 edge, so it's only going to cost me 2.
Yep.
So, and I will block whatever that fucking thing is doing to me. You're trying to do.
Yeah, so it stretches its little body out as much as it can and tries to like go for your face. So you easily like put the blade up and sort of like catch it on the blade. It tacos around it and sort of peels itself back off. The two of you have an opportunity to attack this thing. There's also still a thing outside.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a surging confidence recovery roll. I gain one action immediately after my first recovery roll. So I'm going to roll recovery as an action.
Okay, cool.
And then take an attack.
Okay.
Recovery. I get 6 points. So I'm taking that all back into speed, which puts me back up to full. Thank God. And I am attacking this. You said it was an eye? Or a weird eye? Or
yeah, basically. It's like a dinner plate size flesh flap with an eyeball on it.
1 effort. Oh, fail. Damn.
Ooh. Seydlitz, are you gonna help a girl out?
Yes, I'll murder the dinner plate.
The
rather
flesh flap dinner plate.
19.
Okay.
Nice.
So yeah, with that extra amount of damage, you cleave this thing clean through the eye, and you just see both sides of it descend and just in wet slaps as it dissolves. Both of you, tired from fighting, breathing heavy, say let's still want to look at that medallion. Both of you can see through the smashed windows, through the still open door, whatever that creature is still out there. And as you turn to look at it, there are 2 nimbuses floating above its head.
Fuck.
They glow red, but not like you saw Mina's. They look like fire. Like that orange, red, yellow, changing kind of crackling light. And you see that all of the red cracks in the armor have that same sort of ember kind of tone.
There's windows. Where are these windows placed?
Door, window.
Okay.
Like your classic children's house drawing.
Yeah. So if we jump out the window, we could just walk right through the door.
Yeah, you could just walk right through the door. The windows aren't like they're like
to jump out the window.
Yeah, they're like
There's
1 foot
like
by
door.
1 foot log cabin windows.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, they're not egress windows.
No, yeah, they're not like a bus where you push it out and you escape. No, and they are directly in front of this
I
thing.
don't know. Is it a James Bond scene where it's like we pull the guy where it's like climbs over the fence and then Bond just opens the gate?
He just opens the door and walks through. Yeah. This thing hasn't moved towards you. You just do notice that it is displaying 2 divine shifts. It is displaying 2 nimbuses.
Well, what are the odds we could just freaking open the door and casually walk out and leave?
I say 0.
It's a good number.
Let's see if it makes the first move. And then, are you good?
Yeah, I'm good to keep going. Though I'd rather not.
Well, we can't stay in here forever. Unless we can, because she glances out the window, but it's not making any move to come towards them.
It is not, but it is also not retreating.
Yeah.
You want me to step out first?
I'll go first, and she will open the door slowly, and then she's gonna see if she can casually leave.
You step out of the door. Are you walking towards this thing?
No, she's gonna sidestep.
Yeah, you step out of the door and you sidestep. You don't see any eyes on this thing, so it's hard to tell where it's looking. Again, there's just like a cross-shaped slit across its metal head and a single flaming ember of light coming out of the center of it.
Okay, so she's just gonna has her sword out, but it's not. She's gonna be on the defensive if need be, and she's just kind of tracking it and then walking sideways along the side of the house.
Okay. Are you walking towards the vegetable garden?
Sure.
That's the direction the blood went.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Gonna casually follow her, watch this thing, and casually follow her if he thinks like, all right, it's not doing anything yet.
The two of you step out and you sidestep along, like backs an inch or two away from the wall as you try to get away from this thing. You see it begin to rotate. The only way you can tell it rotates is it seems to have shoulders, and it's moving to follow and track the two of you. You see it raise its left hand, and that like sharp talon-like clawed finger points between the two of you. You're not entirely sure which one it is. And then you hear in your head, perhaps out of your head, this low, guttural spoken language. Neither of you know what they're saying, but it sounds. The only thing I can relate it to is like the black speech scene in Lord of the Rings. It is this booming, dark, bassy feel that you can feel like resonating in your bones as this thing points at you. You see the embers sort of like when you blow in a fire, the ember color all around it gets brighter. And Terry's
Yeah.
GM intrusion.
Fuck. Okay.
If you have XP, you can spend it to stop this from happening. You are about to be cursed.
Fuck. I have to roll like Seydlitz rolled.
Do you have an XP to cancel this or no?
I have one more XP.
Okay.
And I like to know what the
You can
curse is
cancel it,
first.
or you can be cursed.
I'm curious about the damn curse, but oh no. Shit.
I'm being so nice. I could have made this a corruption bar, guys.
You
I have
could be
two.
murdered.
I have one more.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't know. Matt, what do you think?
Well, I'm cursed already, so I'm just
True.
curious what it is. But and obviously, you only have the 1 XP. I have none. So if we spend it, any amount of bad crap could still happen that we couldn't get rid of.
Yep. And re-rolls.
Yeah, but oh shit.
Okay.
No.
You immediately suffer 11 points of might damage. And I need you to make me a difficulty 7 intelligence defense roll.
Okay.
But the curse got there.
This is not a
Sorry.
raver.
How many? 4 or 11?
11 points of might damage.
And a speed defense?
And
Or
an intelligence defense, difficulty level 7.
Okay. Is this save in regards to anything involving fear or intimidation? Because I have bold.
No.
The bold skill.
It is not a no. It is not. It is not fear or intimidation. This thing is not striking you with any kind of fear. This is a curse.
Okay. I have to spend effort in order to make this
at least one. A difficulty 6 is an 18 on the die.
Yeah. Failed. Fuck, by
well,
one.
You have
two.
one extra XP for yourself and one to give to an ally of your choice.
I give it to Mina. No, I'm just kidding. Seydlitz. Seydlitz can have it.
And Terry's...
Mina just yells out, you just hear him pop out of nowhere, thank you, and goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Terry's... You remember that day that you were in the slaver's cart. You remember getting rescued. You remember a few days later that Seydlitz challenged you to a duel to assess your combat skills like he was some kind of great warrior. He's a hunter. You've seen him, he's good with a bow, but he hunts deer, boar. You're a trained warrior, the hand of the dragon. You are a favored of Nalumriel. He's holding you back. You could do so much better if you didn't have that dead weight strapped to your waist. You are feeling incredibly wrathful. Your next turn must be spent attacking your ally. Seydlitz, you hear this guttural, some sort of deep, dark language, and you feel this, like, heat coming off of this thing. And you have that preternatural sense of being a hunter, and you can almost feel Antares bristle. Nothing happens. There's no light show. Just the guy gets a little bit brighter, but you can feel that, like, the hairs on the back of your neck stand as if something bad has just happened.
It's the exact same feeling Seydlitz had that moment in Galvin's basement altar when just moments before, even though Seydlitz properly defended himself, moments before Antares attacked him.
Yeah, that moment she tried to grab you.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I have to roll for the defense, yes?
Not unless she attacks you. It is your turns now. This creature has pointed at you, Antares, uttered some sort of deep speech, and it is now your turn. That is all it has done. So Antares, Seydlitz, it is your turn. What are the two of you doing?
Seydlitz doesn't like to look at this at all, and I'm going to roll escape and combine it with my stalker special ability, and I'm going to basically climb up the side, get on the roof of this cabin.
Okay.
Get to height advantage.
Okay, roll me a speed. I'll say difficulty 4.
Well,
the moss does make it fairly easy.
Escape.
Oh, what does the skill escape do?
Basically, it's just, as it says, it allows me to escape. Like, if I feel like a situation is bad, I can roll escape to get away from it.
Okay, let me see here. Just want to verify if there is a roll or anything.
It has a roll icon.
Does my first action have to be to attack him?
Your next turn must be to attack him. So okay. Escape is a you're specialized in escaping. Okay, so a specialized gives you 2 assets to a roll. So yeah, roll me escape.
And I'm assuming...
And what difficulty?
Difficulty 4.
Do we need to roll initiative to see which one of us goes first?
Nope, it all happens at the same time.
Success.
So yeah, you are successfully able to climb up the roof. Like you said, this is a bad situation. I want to get some height on this. You begin to you turn, grab onto some of the moss, and you begin to launch yourself up. You still have your saber in one hand, and you see a flash of light reflecting off of something as you can see Antares slashing. However, with that like perception, she's not slashing at the creature. She's slashing up and at you. So what we're going to do here is just a straight melee attack roll and a straight speed defense roll. Whatever skills you have that apply to this, please do. And it'll be versus. There's no difficulty. Whoever has the higher one does the damage or does the blocking.
Okay.
And this will not impede your ability to climb the wall here.
This is no difficulty. Effort is no point. Oh, boy.
Yeah. Yeah. So
He just rolled an 18, and
Yeah.
the dice gods are mad at me.
Holy shit!
That's exactly what happened last time.
Holy shit!
Actually, no. I rolled a 1 and Seydlitz rolled a fucking 20 last time.
Wow. The panic
Wow.
of an 18. Holy shit balls. I couldn't have paid Roll20 money to make that happen. Yeah. So Seydlitz, you leap up onto this thing and you see that glint of light in the firelight from this thing, and the actual firelight from the torches. Describe to me how you deftly block or maneuver out of Antares' expert strike against your thigh.
As Seydlitz is climbing, he sees in the light. He sees the flash of the sword coming up at him, and in that split section, he reacts. And I'm gonna ruin my climb, but he kicks off the wall and basically just jumps away from the building and lands kind of on his feet and he's slides back, hand catching the ground in front of him.
Okay, so despite this being a knee-jerk reaction, you did roll a 19, which has a minor effect. So for the minor effect, what I'm going to say is you can determine where you jumped, right? Instead of just jumping backwards, you could have, vaulted to the side of the building. So where would you like to land?
I like to land next to the herb garden.
Okay, yeah. So you grabbed on one hand on the roof, one hand on the side of the building. You see this, you plant a foot, and you launch over Antares, and come to that skidding halt. There's now the house is to your right. You have a clean path to behind the house. The herb garden is just slightly behind you. And as you leapt over, you saw some sort of almost clarity come over Antares' face. She just came to. There's something she's equally confused as to why she was attacking you. Antares, you slash out with that white hot rage of wanting to kill Seydlitz, and you see him kick your blade and leap over the top of you. And as he's in the air, you're like, "What the fuck am I doing?" As he has a cool superhero skid landing in front of him.
Don't think now is the time to respect your mother's wishes, Antares.
What?
That's what Seydlitz yells out at her.
She stops and turns around and looks at him. What happened?
You just tried to kill me.
Oops.
I want that medallion as repayment.
Oops.
What medallion?
My bad.
I still got that curse. I'm calling for the amulet as payment.
You are. Yeah,
you owe me that now.
What amulet? I don't have an amulet.
You are still cursed. Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna add a little flavor to that attack that she did as she swipes along. It's that slow motion swipe, and she's just that battle rage scream. It almost sounds like a dragon roar.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see this this whole thing plays out exactly how you guys described. So that you can see behind, you can see there's a path to behind the house. And Terry's, you're now this creature is to your left because you're kind of rotated. That was your collective turns. This thing, it seems to be almost bobbing back and forth like a boxer in the ring, except there's no legs. It's just sort of floating and hovering. as if deciding what to do in this scenario. You see it bob a few more times, and it sort of like turns and faces you, Antares, the best of its ability. And
She'll
you
take defensive stance.
Yeah, you feel like it's looking at you in whatever that means for this situation. And it bounces backwards, and you see its wing, like its metal wings, flex out, and it lifts. There's no gust of wind, it just lifts, and it's like hovering up and is going to get away. There's no way you can attack this. Seydlitz, if you can fire at long range, you could fire on this thing, but it moves pretty fast.
Yeah, she will back up defensively and get closer to Seydlitz.
If it's leaving, Seydlitz is gonna. If he truly believes it's leaving, he's not gonna do anything. He's gonna let it go. He doesn't think he wants to attract its aggravation.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will let you. I'm going to put this out there, and I will let you guys decide what to do with that. After getting your respective asses kicked a little bit, and being in the haze of battle, would either of you pay attention to which direction this thing is flying, or would you not look a gift horse in the mouth and continue doing whatever that you were doing?
Seydlitz would watch which way it goes.
He would watch.
Okay, both of you. Go ahead.
They'd stay on guard most likely until it's out of sight.
Okay.
Which probably wouldn't take long because it's the trees, but they would definitely take note where it's going.
Yep. Roll me a intelligence 5 navigation check.
I don't have navigation.
I do. Rolling all the effort. There we go.
Okay.
Happy I added an extra effort.
Okay. And Cherries, you watch this thing, and perhaps the fires of rage sort of well up inside you as you see it leaving, and you lose your chance to kill whatever this thing is. Seydlitz, you see it fly up, and you're watching it. It kind of flies overhead, so you have to like turn and watch this thing go. You don't know where it's going, but you know it's heading. This thing, from where you are, is heading directly southeast at a quick pace. If you had to guess from where you are, what'd you roll? 6? Yeah, that's all you get. You met the difficulty for yourself, so you know that it's headed directly southeast. Beyond that, you're not sure. But it does not seem to be returning or getting reinforcements at this moment. You are left alone with two smoldering torches out in the gravel in front of you, and a rotten, overgrown garden bed.
What do you think is southeast?
And she'll sheath her sword. I just have a bad feeling about this. To take a page out of your book, it knows we're here, and it's going to tell somebody. And she'll look him up to like, I didn't hit you, did I? It wasn't me.
No, though I believe you have an amulet on you. Maybe back some more that I would like to have now as payment.
I don't have an amulet. What are you talking about?
The Raver showed me something that you had. I would like it.
I don't have an amulet on me. And
Say
I don't
that's-
have it.
Roll me 1d6.
When 5.
In 7
her eye-
hours, your curse will wear off.
Her eyes narrow. Like, I don't have an amulet on me or in my possession.
That's fine. We'll discuss it later. Now, the trail of blood led behind the house, right?
It did.
We have to move quickly. Let's go.
Seydlitz has chosen his mission over his desire. Yay.
The two of you head behind the house, and you are met by two bodies. one of them lying still. Actually, probably both of them are lying still. One of them has a blade sticking out of the dead center of its chest. Although there doesn't seem to be many wounds on it. The other one has slash marks all over its arms, chest, bleeding in several places. There's so much blood over one side of its face that you can't even see its eye. There are like claw marks at its neck. Still seems to be breathing. Shallow breaths.
This is it a man?
As far as you can tell.
Okay. This one's alive, and she will move to him and flip him over.
You see, he's on his back. He's face up.
Oh.
You see that as you get over to him, there is a large pool of blood underneath him. That is that same sort of coagulated, sticky to the touch. The edges are dried, and his breath is ragged and shallow.
Do I recognize him?
Do you pull up to him as well?
Yeah.
You're fairly positive that 13 years and the most brutal ass kicking he's ever received, this is Regis. At least for the next few minutes.
He's dying.
Seydlitz, I will just tell you this for free. As a hunter, you hear his breath, and there is blood spittling down his cheek and chin, and his breath is like that that ragged, wet breath. He has a punctured lung. He is drowning.
Seydlitz kneels and basically looks at him. What a poor state to find you in, lad.
Do you have anything to help him? I don't have any medical knowledge.
Unfortunately not. He's drowning in his own blood. It's filling his lungs.
Can I roll? There's no way for me to even
Can either of
attempt
us
to help
roll
him.
just like a minor intelligence check to see if is there a way we could try to prolong his life? Like sitting him up, help.
Make him as comfortable as possible, right? As a hunter, you would know that, like, shooting a deer through the lung is a pretty surefire way to get it dead real quick. If you sit him up enough or roll him onto his side enough, you may be able to get a few extra minutes out of his, out of whatever's left of his life. And Terry's, you're well aware that, like, in combat scenarios, that's a pretty surefire way to die. It would require far more than just first aid. To be able to fix this. This would require some kind of like medicum or a hospital to solve this guy's problems. There's no way you can get him down the mountain.
And I have to be in Terry's here and not G. So she will put her arm underneath his shoulders and she will lift him into a sitting position.
He
Ask
begins
him
to
what
choke.
you need to know. Ask him what you want to know.
Regis, before you kick the bucket, tell me the thing I've been wanting to know for years that you wouldn't tell me 12 years ago.
He looks to you.
Where is Bennett?
He looks to you,
What
and
happened?
one of his eyes is like slashed closed, and you can see like the other eye recognizes kind of who you are. What do you ask him? Sorry.
Where
Bennett
is Bennett? What happened to him?
He looks to you, and he reaches up. He reaches up with his like arm, and you see that there's like slashes across his arm, hand, forearm, covered in blood. And he sort of puts a hand on you, and like presses his bloody hand into like your chest, and then he taps each of the bloody fingers on his thing, and he says, "The depths."
Is he still alive?
He looks to you, and like you can tell he doesn't know. He looks to you,
Which
and
level?
there's like a shake of his head, but it's like not it's neither a yes or a no. With his draining strength, he taps the fingers again on your chest.
How many times is he tapping?
Each finger. 5.
5 feet. Are you saying he's on level 5?
There's a nod, a very slow nod.
If Seydlitz doesn't have any other qualms, Antarius is going to put him out of his misery. As soon as he nods,
Seydlitz won't stop her.
yeah.
Okay. What do you
It's the-
do?
She just has her. She just has her sword. I don't know how to do that. Me personally, what would be the best one? But she would definitely know where the quickest and the slowest way to kill someone. So
Okay. Yeah, so you
She would-
you give him as quick and painless death as you possibly can, right?
yeah.
With a shuddering his death rattle comes and he takes his last breath. You have a bloody
Not that morning.
Going
have
to
a-
look at the other person with the sword through their chest.
Yeah. That's a corpse. It was before it got stabbed in the chest.
Great.
It's not recently dead, but it is recently dead. This is a reanimated corpse.
She will gently put Regis down.
The two of you, well, especially Antarius, but the two of you have only heard of reanimated corpses coming from one place.
Yeah.
Chrysurge.
Would I have encountered them before?
Probably.
I
They're not
I imagine
uncommon.
So, yeah.
They're not like outlawed. They have a whole city.
Yeah.
They
not
are
good.
they are frequent buyers of indulgences. In fact, in Corso.
Oh, so they're like highly intelligent, or at least some of
Oh
them.
yeah, they're fully like they're people. They have a full society
Oh.
of They're not
Okay.
like zombies. They are essentially non-magical liches. They have all chosen to become undead and untethered from the mortal qualms and morality.
Is that what I think it is?
Yep. It's an undead from Chrysurge.
She will close Regis's eyes if they're
Think
open.
you think he's the one who ransacked the house?
These wounds, do they look like they would have been done by this gentleman?
They look like blades, like stab wounds and slash wounds. There's a lot of them for one fight, for like a one-on-one fight, as well as there's a lot of damage to the house for a single person.
Yeah, I don't know. There could have been a
You
whole
think-
mess of them.
You think our flying armored friend is the one who did this?
Possibly.
Seydlitz, as you connect those dots, you realize that Chrysurge is southeast.
Southeast. Chrysurge. Oh. Ugh. They're in the same direction.
What does Chrysurge want with this information about your father?
It might be beyond that. I'm in it for my father. There might be more to it.
I will
Something
say
is at the bottom that they want to know about.
I will say this for player knowledge, G, the 5 depths. If you were to look on the map, the 5 depths are basically where Elanehtar fell. Elanehtar is like the heavenly plane where all the gods were that crashed into the ground and exploded. The 5 depths are literally 5 different layers that were revealed when this place smashed down on it. Everyone in the RuneScape is either like a farmer or like living day to day or trying to discover that. That's the place where you adventure. That's the place where you discover, you mine, you bring back trinkets of the old age. It is the place to be if you are the adventuring type in the RuneScape. There is untold riches, and very few people have ascended beyond like the 3rd or 4th depth. Almost no one makes it back from the 5th depth and has stories to tell.
Okay, so most likely we can piece together that that's what these things were taking
See,
out
this is
of those
going
hiding
to
holes.
look, see if like any is like maze like with those little alcoves, any like bits of paper, journals, notebooks, anything.
Yeah, as you like tear through the house, right? There's no reason not to at this point. There is evidence that there were things in here. You see that
I'm
there
looking
are
on the undead guy specifically as well.
on
See if
him
he has them.
specifically. You see that outside of the dagger in his chest, he is carrying nothing. You also look on Regis.
Regis.
He is also carrying nothing, but not in a way. Again, much like the house, not in a way that like I just wasn't carrying anything. Their body has been stripped. Outside of the now unnecessary dagger in this guy's chest, it seems as though they were both left to die and stripped of anything useful.
Well, this trip was a bust.
Was it? He told us where your father was last seen, at least.
But so many people go down to depth 5 and disappear, but well, at least we know where we're going next after this.
Well,
Do we
if you
see?
if you want to go down there and throw your life away, I won't stop you.
Everybody says that.
You said it yourself. No one comes back from there. I know he's
One
your father.
man came
but...
back as he stares at Regis, who's now deceased.
And we don't know the nature of his return. He could have betrayed your father. He could have made a deal. We don't know what happened.
Even so, there might be information that our armored individual took with him that we need.
Are you suggesting we go after that thing?
Not now.
Good.
I'm not crazy enough to go after it now. We'll go talk to Korax and Mina and then figure it out. We have a war to fight first.
And are we still going to go scouting out for reconciliators?
Might as well while we're here.
Would I know, with my knowledge of reconciliators, would they even risk moving through anywhere, outside Sia's Pass?
You would know they wouldn't risk moving a large group through Sia's Pass. You do know that Sia had already said that a large group had gone through, and what you have seen in Samora is not equal to that large group. There is a large number in Samora, but the group that she mentioned had gone through is far greater, and you haven't seen them. They could be hiding in the mountains in various points. Risky, but a good way to spy. Thus far, you saw no evidence of that.
My question.
Yeah.
In the house, did I see a shovel?
Sure.
Seydlitz is going to, since the garden he's assuming has dirt, he's going to take some time to clear out a section of the garden. He's going to bury Regis in the garden.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, you dig out the garden essentially, put him in the raised bed, and you plant him. You replant him under that.
I'm gonna put a little rock there as a headstone.
Okay. Do you do anything with the reanimated?
No.
Okay.
What would be what would be the fucking the last rites for these things?
Last rites are to the individual. There are no gods to give last rites to. Burn it, bury it. They're people.
True. Yeah. Like, sorry. I guess my question is, what would be their burial rites, not their.
They don't. They have a burial crypt and graveyards, just like regular people. In lieu of that, a funeral pyre is also acceptable. Their big thing is they are untethered by morality, right? Like if they're like, oh, you know what I like to do? I like to stab people a lot. I'm fine with that, and they just do murders. Like they have no conscience to be like, hey, don't drink alcohol 24 hours a day. They're like, no, I just like this. This is what I do now. So that's why they are huge purveyors of indulgences. Their city is very debaucherous.
Okay, so if they're Yeah, so most I'm going to assume that they do not give a damn what happens to them after they are dead,
Mm-hmm.
because they've already released that
Yeah.
mental burden from themselves. So she would just leave them.
Okay.
Take the blade that's in its back.
Well, if there's a torch nearby, Seydlitz might just toss it on him.
Yeah, there's 2 torches. You guys lit 2. You throw it on him. Eventually, it'll catch. You pull the blade out of his chest, Antares, and the moment you do, you feel a rush. That's it. If you'd like to roll me a difficulty 3 intelligence check, you can.
Why not?
Yay for magical blades.
Success.
Okay. This is a Cypher. It appears as though Regis had no idea. Perhaps it is a relic that he found in one of the depths. But this is a Cypher. It is thus unused, since he did not seem to have the capacity to use it.
She looks at it.
You have seen things like this before, working for your mother. This is known as a Sword of the Gods. It is a blade blessed with divine power. I'll give you the full stats in a memo. But yeah, you have this Cypher. It is a one-use item. I will also say, just as a reminder for players, you should have a indicated number somewhere on your character sheet that will tell you how many ciphers you are allowed to carry at once. Any more than that, and you will attract
I have
ravers.
a limit of 2.
Yeah. Any more than 2, and you will begin to attract things like ravers.
Yeah.
Okay, this is player note. Does that mean what was Regis's limit?
Regis didn't have one. It seems as though your best guess, especially as a player, would be that those ravers were with the armored creature.
I was like, it just made me think, it's like, are there more ciphers here?
There might have been.
Ugh.
Perhaps that is what is cleared out of the house. The house was clearly ransacked, and everything of value was stolen.
That's a player note, though. All right.
Yeah. So you throw the torch on the reanimated. You pull the blade from its chest. You have buried Regis. And you now know that some sort of monstrosity with the ability to potentially command ravers is working towards your end, or at least potentially with Chrysearch, who is about to go to war with Samora. As the 2 of you descend the mountain, hopefully with a little bit more knowledge than you had when you ascended, that is where we end this episode of The Rise. Da 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 da. So, right? Very interesting.
Before I forget, I do want to recover some of my HP.
Yeah.
Can I do that, or?
Yeah, you can do up to your 1 hour. Your 1 hour. Your 10 minutes and 1 hour, right?
I have a rapid recovery, which allows me to make my 10 minutes in an action, which doesn't really matter in this action, but 7.
Yep. Actually, by the time you get back to Samora, you can go up to your your full day, your 28-hour one.
Okay. So we're heading back.
Yeah, that was quite the curse. I curse you with damage.
Yeah, that thing. Unfortunately, you guys don't have any idea what it is. We'll talk about it in the after show, though. There's a lot of other damage that it could have done. So that is where we end this episode of The Rise. A lot more interesting plot coming out for what is to be the 3rd arc of the campaign. But we're going to get out of here. We're going to do our introductions. We're going to do our after show, do some stars, do some wishes. If you guys want access to that after show and all the other after shows we've done today and throughout the rest of our campaigns here, go check it out on our Patreon. A link for that down below. While you're down there, click on that link, join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. But for now, we will start with the star of the episode. This was his show. Matt, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
I'm Matt Ordia, and you'll find me here on The Rise in the one-shots from the Patreon and around Mike's Discord, talking about life, games, and trucking.
Hell yeah. And G, who are you? Where can we find you, and what are you up to?
I'm G, your friendly neighborhood lightning invoker. You'll find me in all things Patreon for unmade gaming and modding for all the streams, and in the Discord all the time, and on Twitter for at lightningspaz09.
Hell yeah. That's it for me, guys. We will see you next week for more shit. So from all of us to you guys, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.